and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, September the 14th, 2021. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, local hospitals are struggling to keep up with the current COVID-19 surge. Sheriff Parton has competition for his job, and the most recent Lunch and Learn was led by a former guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live? That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared.
But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective.
Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Welcome back. With Tennessee leading the nation in new COVID cases, Dr. Jeff Balzer, President and CEO of Vanderbilt University Medical Center, discussed the tremendous pressure the current COVID-19 surge is placing on our hospitals and how we're responding as a team across Vanderbilt Health.
Hi everyone. Looking back over the past year and a half, we've faced incredible challenges with the pandemic. While the surge we experienced last winter was tough on everyone, we were assured then by the promise of new vaccines, scientific breakthroughs that our medical center played a leadership role in testing. The vaccines are now proven safe, with 375 million doses given in the U.S. alone, and are almost 100% effective for preventing serious disease. So I, for one, did not imagine we would be fighting through an even more aggressive COVID surge today than last winter. Here's what we know. Unfortunately, the state of Tennessee still has one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country, only about 50%. And as you can see, Tennessee recently has been leading the nation in the rate of new cases. In fact, as of September 1st, Tennessee had a higher case rate than not just all other states, but any country in the world. As cases continue to rise, we're seeing more people hospitalized at VUMC hospitals than ever before. Because the Delta variant is more contagious, this surge is different in the speed it's run through our region and in the rate it has impacted children. According to the State Health Department, about 1/3 of the new cases in Tennessee last week were children. You know better than anyone that this surge is putting tremendous pressure on our hospitals. We now have over 200 COVID-19 patients in VUMC hospitals, an all-time high, with very large numbers in our ICUs. Yet we continue to see that the vaccine is preventing serious disease, except for immunocompromised patients such as organ transplant patients who don't respond fully to the vaccine. Nearly all patients needing ICU care are unvaccinated. One of our most serious challenges is staffing shortages, particularly in our ICUs. Keep in mind, we are caring for both COVID-19 patients and large numbers of patients with a host of critical care conditions from all over this region. Patients who depend on the cutting-edge services VUMC provides. Our situation is compounded as nearly all major health systems in the Southeast are facing these staffing shortages. We are taking a host of creative actions to provide safe care for as many patients as possible while supporting our heroic people working on the front lines. One example is redeployment of clinical teams from our operating rooms to inpatient areas, where they can help us manage patients needing ICU-level care. Of course, this means our inpatient surgery schedules are reduced. We will continue to delay a limited number of surgeries that are not urgent until we are through the worst of this surge. It's difficult to predict when that will be, but the model from our biostatistics department that we've relied on throughout the pandemic projects our peak will occur in the next few weeks. Further, we're making great progress in getting everyone at VUMC vaccinated, which is very encouraging. As of today, at least 90% of us are now vaccinated. And I'm also delighted that in the Leaders First effort, with over 3,000 leaders and managers, over 99% are vaccinated. By requiring the vaccine, we intend to create the safest possible environment for not only our patients, but for you, everyone working at this medical center. Remember, the hard deadline to be fully vaccinated or have an approved exemption is the end of this month, September 30th. It's been tragic and frustrating to see so many sick COVID patients when we have a safe and effective vaccine, but what we can impact most is what happens here. And through it all, you continue to make sacrifices and save lives. The truth is, at this moment, the people of VUMC are an inspiration to millions. In many ways, you're the backbone of this region. Our backs are strong, and together we will get through this. You are all, now more than ever, heroes. Thank you. We will talk again.
Dr. Lisa Piercy recently spoke on monoclonal antibody treatment. This is a treatment for COVID-19 that is available to all Tennesseans. Dr. Piercy explains more in this video.
I'm going to talk about something that has been around for several months now, 8 or 9 months now, but I'm continually surprised at how few people know about it, and that is called monoclonal antibody. Now, that is a big mouthful, but it is essentially where in a pharmaceutical laboratory, you can manufacture antibodies that will fight COVID infection just like your own body would. So your natural immune system is going to start fighting it off, but for a lot of people, particularly those in high-risk categories, they could use a little help. And so this is a medication, some people call it a therapeutic, that you can take to prevent the progression of your disease. It's essentially boosting your own antibodies and your immune system. It's been around since November of 2020, so we've had it for about 9 months, and there are actually multiple different products and manufacturers of that. The best news is that it is in full supply. We have no shortage. We have it available all over the state. Primarily, it is given in an IV infusion. It takes about an hour, and then they watch you for an hour. I promise you, if you are high risk and you get infected, there is no better 2 hours than you can spend of getting that infusion because it is so highly effective of keeping you from progressing to the need of hospitalization or even more severe disease. But there are some people who it is more geared towards. So I told you it can be an IV infusion. Now, in some instances, they can also give it to you subcutaneously, which is basically a shot, but the best way is still in an IV infusion. So if you get a positive COVID test and you have had symptoms for less than 10 days and you are at risk for progressing to severe disease, that means you have underlying medical conditions or you are of advanced age. And I'm not talking about really serious medical conditions, even common medical conditions like hypertension, high blood pressure, and obesity. Those are risk factors, diabetes, those are risk factors for progression to severe disease. So if you are a high-risk individual, either by your age or your medical condition, after you get that positive COVID test, your very first call should be to your doctor or to a facility that has monoclonal antibodies in order to go ahead and get on this schedule and get that infused.
And after these messages, we'll be right back.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program, and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join us on September 18th at Manchester Rotary Park at 9 a.m. as we walk to fight suicide and raise awareness about mental health. Be a part of the movement turning hope into action and create a culture that's smart about mental health. Funds raised at the walk will benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Sign up at afsp.org/coffeecounty.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus.
I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Welcome back. Coffee County Sheriff's Department Deputy and current School Resource Officer Alethea Smart Ron is announcing her candidacy for Coffee County Sheriff. Ron's announcement to run as a Republican will mean a primary challenger for incumbent Sheriff Chad Parton, who intends to seek re-election. Primary for the 2022 election will be in the spring, with the election in August. Following is a full announcement from Alethea Smart Ron. Quote, Coffee County Sheriff's Department Deputy and SRO Alethea Smart Ron announces her candidacy for Sheriff of Coffee County to be held in 2022. A conservative veteran patriot, Ron is a 1999 Coffee County Central High School graduate. She began her law enforcement career as a 911 dispatcher for Coffee County, enlisting in the Army National Guard in 2001 as a military police officer. Ron participated in annual trainings held in Vicenza, Italy, as well as Border Patrol training in Yuma, Arizona. As a single parent, she enrolled in the Cleveland State Community College Law Enforcement Training Academy, graduating 7th in her class. Ron's unparalleled work ethic earned her the Personal Development Award from Cleveland State. After graduation, Ron worked as a corrections officer at Coffee County Sheriff's Department. She served on the Special Response Team while in corrections until hired by the Tullahoma Police Department. Ron was hired at Bedford County Sheriff's Department, where she became a school resource officer at Shelbyville Central High School in 2013. While at Shelbyville Central, she mentored over 3,000 students. She was recognized and awarded the highest designation in the state for an SRO, the President's Award by the Tennessee School Resource Officers Association. Ron earned the title by disarming a student in a full classroom who was in possession of a loaded .22 pistol and other items. Ron began the community service program at Shelbyville Central High School. First-time juvenile offenders who completely and successfully finished their hours retired their charges. Ron was recruited to come home to Coffee County Sheriff's Department to be one of the SROs for Coffee County Schools. She was placed at North Coffee Elementary in 2018 under current Sheriff Chad Parton. Ron was given the opportunity to attend Moore County SWAT School in September of 2019, making her the first female deputy to Coffee County Sheriff's Department to be put through and successfully complete the training. This date, September 11th, the anniversary of the worst terror attack on U.S. soil, will forever be engraved in our minds. I remember when patriotism swept throughout our nation like an enveloping breeze. A true patriot, my heart hurts, and I will always remember. I pray for our military and first responders daily. I am grateful and humbled by the opportunity to serve the citizens of Coffee County. Given the opportunity, I commit to show you, the citizens of Coffee County, my strength in the midst of adversity, my compassion for others, my desire to excel at my job duties to the greatest extent, and the ability to grow along with the needs of this community. There is no I in team, and together I know we can work to make Coffee County a more desirable destination for citizens, visitors, and businesses. It's the right time for bold leadership, and I am the right choice for this position. With your support, we can make history together. I am excited about my first meet and greet opportunity at the Patriot Rally held by the Republican Party on Monday, September 13th at the FOP Lodge at 6 p.m. Stay tuned for future announcements regarding upcoming fundraisers to benefit the committee to elect Sheriff Ron. You can find me at Facebook at Alethea for Sheriff, end quote. And we'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. At Tullahoma's recent Lunch and Learn, Sterling Howard, former guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, addressed the gathering about his service. In this portion, he speaks about the uniforms and weather.
I am Sterling Howard, former Tomb Guard and Sergeant of the Guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I'm also a member of the Society of the Honor Guard, which is a sponsor of the Tomb Guard also. This year is one of the biggest years in history for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It's the 100th anniversary. There is other countries that have Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers also. In fact, France was the first, and we became the third one. And the question was asked, why isn't the United States doing this? So there was a congressman contacted. He went before Congress and told them about it. They voted for it, and that's how we got our Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The uniform consists during the winter months of a top coat. You can wear long johns out there because it definitely gets cold up there. In the summer, we have raincoats that you can wear and plastic visors that goes over the hat and everything. The one thing about it, if you go on duty and it starts raining after you're on duty, you get wet without a raincoat. And you will do that until your trip is over with. We're not allowed to make any changes once you start your tour. And we never covered our ears the whole time I was there in the winter. We wore the hats as usual. We had hats that had the mufflers that could come down on the side, keep you warm. We weren't allowed to do that. It had to get a certain temperature, and we never knew what that temperature was because we never seen it. We'd always call the lieutenant and ask him, "It's cold out here." And he says, "Not yet." And but the uniforms, they are wool uniforms in all reality, and they're quite warm. They're lightweight in the summer, and they're heavier weight in the winter months. So those are the changes that takes place as far as the uniforms to wear, based on the temperatures.
We'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Many Tennesseans are wondering, do masks really fight the spread of COVID-19? A recent study shows they do. 2 hairstylists worked for several days with respiratory symptoms and serviced patrons in close contact. Both stylists later tested positive for COVID-19. 139 clients were exposed to coronavirus after being in direct contact. Both stylists and their customers opted to wear masks. No COVID-19 symptoms were identified among the 139 exposed clients or their secondary contacts. Out of the clients that were tested, all tested negative for COVID-19. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Welcome back. Heavy equipment and wildlife aren't usually mentioned in the same breath, but the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency has an engineering division that travels the state creating habitat, access, and working to improve opportunity for Tennessee. The TWRA prepared this video to help explain.
If you visit one of the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency wildlife management areas, chances are you'll see deer tracks or turkey tracks. But if you see bulldozer tracks, you know the engineering crew has been there.
The engineering crew, we make access areas for the people to get into hunting spots. We do a lot of food plots, but we make the area for the food plots to be planted. We do levees for duck hunters. We're engineering, so we have roughly 5 crews throughout the state of Tennessee, and some of them work on boat ramps, and then we got some that do boat ramps part of the year and management area work like we do. See, this particular group does a lot of Middle Tennessee and West Tennessee. We go all the way down to Shelby Forest and down in that area to the Mississippi River, all the way through Middle Tennessee mostly. And we cover, roughly around 20 little management areas. Last few weeks, we've been working at Unali, and we built about 1.5 miles of road. We did make 2 fields, 4 food plots. We opened each of them up to about 1 acre, roughly, and so they can go in there and sow food plots for the wildlife.
By using heavy equipment, the engineering crew can get back into the WMA and open up spaces, and those spaces can now be established as food plots by the WMA wildlife managers. It's also good for sportsmen because it's opening up areas of the WMA that sportsmen had a hard time accessing.
There was no road. Be a 4-wheeler path through some of it, but we open it up roughly about 30 foot wide. It makes it easier to access this hunting area because before you had to go through thickets to get to that. So now you've got the opportunity to walk down a road and access different spots off of the road. This is a different project. We was in the area, so we went ahead to get this one out. This is an archery range that's here at the city park that's going to be for people to come in and shoot their bows and practice. And it's kind of a small range, but it'd be great for the community. I love to see that finished project. It looks good and you come out here to a rolling field, but when we're done, we have, a shooting range. And then it gives people lots of opportunity to come out here.
And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week, Peggy and John will welcome everyone to our new location at 207 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma. We'll hear from Craig Terry, who's coming to perform at South Jackson Civic Center, and we'll have a look back at some of the fun we've had over the last 20 years at our previous studio locations. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
The food at Parkview, well, I haven't had a bad meal there yet.
The food at Parkview is absolutely scrumptious. I mean, it is really good. It's just like home cooking.
And then there are the cookies. Oh my, they bake cookies every day and they are super.
The food is truly incredible, and it's like being on a cruise ship.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1980 at 96 degrees. The record low was in 1902 at 40 degrees. The average high for this day is 82, and the average low is 60. 30% chance of storms tonight with a low of 67. Storms likely for Wednesday with a high of 79 and a low of 65, and a 50% chance of storms for Thursday, a high of 81 and a low of 66. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.